What's up, everybody? It's me. It's me. It's PLD. Good to see you all here tonight on this Monday evening. This is something I don't do too often on the channel, but I might do more as time goes on. I was reading an article today from Cinema Blend about upcoming movies in 2023, and I kind of glanced through them. I kind of wanted to just go live and talk about what at least I'm excited about and what I'm not excited about, and see what you guys have to think. Streamlabs is open, of course, as always. If you want to make a donation to me and get your question read out, or you can just talk in the chat either way. If you are new to the channel, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave some comments. Help me out. Help me get to know you. Help you get to know me. It's all a big family. I don't know, but it's gonna be not gonna be a deep dive into every movie. I'm just gonna kind of glance through the movies that I took a gander at and talk about what I find exciting and what I don't. And let's go right into it. There's no time like the present, right? Starting in January of 2023, we got the first one, Megan. Megan's coming out. That's right. Megan coming out January 6th. This is a film that at first glance I go, it's just another horror doll movie. Okay. Do we really need this? Do we really need this anymore at this point? Kind of feels like it's been overdone, especially with Annabelle, all the Annabelles and everything else. And it kind of feels like AI. But then I start looking at the names and I'm like, it's produced by Jason Blum and James Wan under the Blumhouse and Atomic Monster Productions banner. And I got to look at the trailer. I gotta say, it looks amusing. It looks fun. I mean, I gotta sometimes I gotta be reminded that some fun, good old fashioned horror films you don't need to do much more brilliance with it. You don't need to make it a brilliant film. You can just have fun with it. And Megan does look like fun. So, on a scale of 1 to 11, because we always go to 11 here on PLD Projects, as far as my anticipation, I'll give it a solid 7. Why not? Not gonna I'm not gonna rush out to it. I probably won't be like too like make it like film of the year or anything, but I do think Megan should be a lot of fun. All right, next up we have A Man Called Otto. I was talking about this today with a friend, fellow co-host, Matty Gunner, and he's looking forward to this. Interestingly enough, I think I'm looking forward to this for the same reason he is. Tom Hanks, kind of as a crotchety, grumpy old man, kind of intriguing to me. I'm not going to lie. Directed by Mark Forster, who knows his way around a film, I do think that this could be fun. The trailer I saw recently was surprisingly entertaining. I mean, I guess surprisingly is not exactly the right word, but it is a Tom Hanks film. But it does seem like it could be heartwarming, could be fun. Again, I don't see this as a film I'm extremely anticipated. I'm not extremely excited about. But on a scale of 1 to 11, give it a solid 6. I'll give it a solid 6. Hey, Galactus, good to see you in the chat as always, my friend. All right, what do we got next up on our list? After A Man Called Otto, we have a remake film, House Party 2023. House Party 2023. Of course, stop me if you want to make any comments or anything like that. House Party is not a film I was extremely looking forward to. I'm not going to lie. House Party was fine back in the day, but a remake of the Kid and Play movie did not exactly seem like something I'd be really excited for rather. Then I saw the trailer. I tell you, it looks kind of fun. Looks kind of fun. I'm not extremely anticipating it. I don't think I'll be rushing out to the theaters to see it necessarily. But when it comes on streaming, I can see myself sitting down with this and having a good time. I mean, the LeBron James angle of it seems at a little bit forced, but at the same time, I like when people can make fun of themselves, and definitely was doing that. So I'll give this one give it a 5 out of 11 as far as anticipation goes. Nothing too exciting, but who knows? Maybe that will surprise me, right? Who knows? Okay, let's move on to the next movie on the list. This is one I'm very extremely excited about. Before that, yes, it's going to make Original House Party look like House Party 2. Maybe it could. It could. We'll have to find out. One of my most anticipated films, though, of the early part of the year. You got it. Plane. Come on now. How can you go wrong here? You have Gerard Butler. You have Mike Coulter. You have a movie about Jerry. You have a movie just like anything up Jerry B's alley recently. It's all been films like this. It's pretty much a Olympus Has Fallen or Den of Thieves or Greenland. This is a film that you already know what you're getting when you saw the trailer, and you're going to be excited about it. You know you're going to be excited about it because it's going to be a lot of fun. My crew, he has a duty of care to his passengers, not just his family. Those are the people he cares about. He's going to be rock solid in here. It's going to be a ridiculously legitimate film where Gerard Butler is going to kick ass, be amazing, and have a lot of fun. This is popcorn film 101, and I am all in. So for me, this is a solid 10 out of 11 as far as anticipation goes. I can't wait to sit in the theater for that. And Kelly W, I know will be watching right there with me on the other side of America. But either way, we'll both be watching in the theaters for that one for sure. My plane, my responsibility. That's the quote. That is the quote. Yes. And you got Mike Coulter in it too. Is also awesome. You got Tony Goldwyn, who always plays a great shit type part. So that could be another. I'm assuming he's going to be a shit weasel. You never know. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. That does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, what is next up on our list after Plane? Missing. Now, Missing is a film that I didn't even know is coming out until just recently. I'm not going to lie. Um, but it's coming out from the same people who gave us Searching. Obviously, enough sounds the same too, right? I gotta say, Searching was one of those ones that kinda surprised me with its, the computer screen, way they did things, and it still managed to kinda keep a good energy going, keep a good, mystery going, despite the, limitations it has. Missing is obviously a spiritual sequel of sorts to that. Actually, I guess the actually standalone sequel itself. Wow, I didn't realize that. I'm looking at the wiki now. I didn't realize he was actually a, standalone sequel. That's interesting. But either way, I did see a trailer for it, and it does look good. It looks like it's a similar type of thing. It's going to have a lot of computer screen, a lot of phone screens. It could be really, really cool. New directors, of course, Nick Johnson and Will Merrick in their directorial debuts. Does have a decent cast: Ken Ling, Storm Reed, Neil Long, of course. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if it's going to be great, but it's worth a shot. I think for a January film. I believe it's coming out in January, right? Correct. Yeah, it seems like it'd be a fun January film. Why not? Why not? As far as one through 11 goes, no, it's not. Not Sissy Spacek movie. As far as 1 to 11 goes, I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 11 because again, Searching kind of was surprising to me, so I was happily surprised. So I'm hoping Missing will just be at least on that same level. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, coming up next, we got Knock at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin. Now, this is something that I gotta say it's a weird I have a weird feeling about this one. M. Night Shyamalan is always so hit or miss, as you can tell. He has been doing things since for a long time. He fell off, he's come back, he's fallen off, he's come back. But I gotta tell you, the pieces are in place really for this one. I know Old was very polarizing. I never actually saw Old, so I can't tell you myself how that was. But this one I actually am definitely more excited about than I was for Old, for the cast alone. Dave Bautista, who has proven to be the best wrestling actor we have, he's actually, I almost say calling him a wrestling actor is almost, it was not something you should do anymore because he's actually just a seriously good actor. And him at the top, you got Jonathan Groff, who is one of my favorites. If you know me at all, you heard when he came out as the Matrix in the Matrix 4. I was loving the fact it was him because he is a superstar in the making. If he just gets the right roles, I don't know if this is the role that's going to do anything for him, but I'm happy to have him in any movie I'm in. Any movie that I'm happy to have him in any movie I'm seeing. Of course, also you got Ron Weasley himself, Rupert Grint in the mix. I don't know. It seems like a good, fun horror movie. It seems like old school M. Night Shyamalan. I want to say it kind of reminded me a little bit of The Village. I know a lot of people had some problems with The Village, but this kind of seemed to have that same kind of vibe that something was going on that we don't know about. I'm sure there's going to be a twist because that's just what what M. Night does. But overall, I think that could be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. All right, what comes up? Please, any comments you want to throw in there, of course. Any questions you have, any comments you have, happy to have them on screen here. What else we got here? Next up, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That's a good. This is my first talking about a Marvel movie recently. I haven't really talked about them as much recently because I feel like I'm enjoying them just as much. I'm someone who loved Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I highly enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder. I know some people didn't. Loved No Way Home. I love the Marvel series, but I am a little marveled out to a degree. But it's only affecting me as far as anticipation goes. I think once I get there, I'm all in. As far as anticipation goes, the only one I'm really anticipated is where they're going to put my boy. Where is Hercules going to be? Is it going to be a movie? It's going to be a Disney Plus show. Is it? I don't care. To get Hercules going because I want to see my boy. Um, but with that being said, Ant Man and the Wasp did hit me with a good trailer, and given what we know about the upcoming phases, it does seem like this is going to set a lot in motion. So my anticipation is getting a little high for that one. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I do like Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors obviously is a strong addition to this film and the Marvel Universe, and a strong addition to just everything in recent times. He's been kicking ass in everything he's been in. So that's a big win. The cast, of course, is strong as usual. I do like seeing Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang. I know she was played initially by different actors in Endgame, but I like the idea of getting someone that fits better. And she kind of, I don't know, something about the Endgame one was just fine, but if they wanted to replace her for somebody, I'm trusting in the director. I'm trusting in Peyton Reed that he did it for the right reason. She does look good as Cassie Lang, so I'm happy about that. I like, of course, Randall Park being in it is fun, of course, as always. Uh, the Ant-Man movies are fun. I wasn't a huge fan as much of Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I think I liked it better than a lot of people did. Um, Probably mid-level still. So it's interesting that they're giving Ant-Man and the Wasp the big reveal. Maybe it's to kick the series up a notch, try as they try to replace all the Iron Mans and Captain Americas. Maybe they're trying to give a little boost to Ant-Man and the Wasp by giving them such an important film in the phase. But I'd say this is definitely something that does give me anticipation for the first time in a while for a Marvel movie, specifically because it feels like we're going somewhere again. I am not one that was rattling against Marvel. A lot of people said that they've been kind of listless since Endgame. I'm not one of those people. I kind of find it's nice to take a step back. I kind of find it's nice to just explore different sides without having to worry about what we're heading towards. But I think that time is over. I think we had that time, and this is a good way to go. Okay, now let's start heading in the direction of where we are going as a whole. So I'll give this one a solid 8. I'm interested to see this one come out. 8. I'll go with 8. All right. What is next after that? Next after that is going to be definitely going to be an Action Army favorite. Definitely one of my friends. Cocaine Bear. How can you go wrong with Cocaine Bear, right? Cocaine Bear is going to be a fun, drunken movie. You get drunk, you get high, you watch this movie, and you have a great time. Ray Liotta making his final appearance is kind of legendary in this being in this film. It's gonna be nuts. You know exactly what you're getting when you see the trailer, and wouldn't want it any other way. Nothing else to say about that one. 9 out of 10 easily for me. 9 out of 11, should say, as far as anticipation goes. I can't wait. I'll be there in the theaters with as many people as I can get because it's going to be a fun group movie. All right, what we got next? We got Creed 3. Creed 3. Hmm. What do I say about Creed 3? I hesitate talking about Creed 3 very much because I'm not as sold on it as a lot of people are. It does have Jonathan Majors in it, which is a big selling point. I still love Michael B. The problem is for me, Creed has kind of lost its heart when it lost Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone's Rocky really was the heart of the Creed franchise as being a part of the Rocky franchise. There's a movie in the Rocky saga now that doesn't have Rocky Balboa in it, and that's kind of a tough sell to me. When you throw that in, you got Michael B. Jordan's debut as a director. I mean, maybe he'll knock it out of the park. I don't know, but it does kind of feel like when I watched the trailer, I got excited about some parts, but there's also some parts that kind of made me think, I don't know, is it getting stale? It's getting old. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just me. It could be just me. I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess I should trust in them since I loved Creed. The original Creed, I absolutely loved. The Creed 2, I enjoyed quite a bit, and in some ways had some higher highs, even had some lower lows. I guess I should trust them until they prove me wrong. I'll go with a solid 7 out of 11, maybe even an 8. On some days, it's as low as a 6. I do like Creed, and I'm hoping it's going to knock it out of the park. I guess we're going to find out. All right, next up after Creed 3, we got 65. Now, this is a movie that I am very much excited for. I did the trailer reaction the other day for it. I had no idea what it was. I hadn't heard about. I mean, I found out I had heard about it. I just didn't know the title. I remember hearing about the writers of A Quiet Place directing or writing a film that would star Adam Driver in a sci-fi film. But I didn't know the name of it until I saw the trailer, and I saw Adam Driver in this trailer, and it blew me away. It's original sci-fi thrillers when we don't get a lot of these days. It's a lot more, IP and franchise building, et cetera, et cetera. But you got this film produced by Sam Raimi. Adam Driver's a phenomenal actor, so you can't go wrong there. The writers of A Quiet Place, they did a great job on A Quiet Place. The the trailer looked nuts. It looked a little like Jurassic Park, obviously, with the dinosaurs added in. But I'm all in. I am completely all in. I'm sold on this project. This is one of my highest anticipated movies of next year so far. I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 11. Let's go. Let go. All right. Next up, we got Scream 6. Scream 6 coming out on right now the same day, I believe, as 65, Friday, March 10th, 2023. Scream 6 is an interesting for me. I've obviously followed it all throughout. I did a trailer reaction on Scream 6 as well. I've been big fan of Scream since the beginning of Scream's. The original Scream is one of my favorite films. Scream 2 has aged a little poorly for me. Scream 3 has actually aged better for me. I love Scream 4. Scream 5 was a solid film in the franchise. I like a lot of what they did. I think they did some characters a little dirty, but they introduced them some new characters which were good as well. Jack Quaid was great. I know he's no longer going to be in it, obviously. But of course, Jenna Ortega is phenomenal. I'm not as big a fan as Melissa Barrera in Scream 5, but Jenna Ortega was definitely spectacular in it. And they're all coming back for Scream 6. Of course, there is the Sidney Prescott of it all. I'm actually happy that she's not in it, but not why she's not in it, if that makes sense. Like I support Nev's decision not to be in it because she wanted to be paid what she thought she was due. The advancement of course, women in film getting their proper due, their proper pay as what she thinks her value is worth. I support that. But even before that all happened, myself and PJ as well, we both kind of said that this should kind of be the end of Sidney Prescott in the Scream series. Let her have her happy ending. We don't need her to come back every time and get stopped by Ghostface. She's done it quite a few times already, and I mean, Laurie Strode's only been in so many movies. You don't need the same final girl every time. Let's give these new characters a chance to really develop. Let's make them the legacy characters now. Although I will be a little hypocritical and say I'm happy to see the return of Kirby. I loved Kirby in Scream 4, so Hayden Penn coming back is chef's kiss for me. That's actually probably my biggest reason that this is going to go higher anticipation. If she wasn't in it, it'd probably be about mid-level for it, maybe a 6. I don't care. Maybe this is offensive. Maybe this is something I shouldn't say, but I could really care less if Gail Weathers comes back at this point. Nothing against Courtney Cox, but at this point, I don't need her in Scream 6. I don't. I don't need them. I don't need any of the legacy characters really, besides Kirby, because we get to see her come back for the first time since Scream 4. That I can deal with. And maybe I wouldn't mind Randy's sister. I did like her, Heather Matarazzo, in the 2022 version, and I like her, of course, in Scream 3. But let's concentrate on these newer characters. Let's get them built up. So that's where I am with Scream 6. I'm going to give it a solid. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 11. I do want to see Kirby, like I said. I think 7.5 is a fair answer. Okay. All right, next up we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. What to say about this? Now, the whole DC thing is obviously fascinating right now. It's fascinating because the Hulk, James Gunn taking over, wiping things clear, it's all still very much in development. We don't know what's going to happen. He recently was on Twitter saying he might not be recasting everybody now. I don't know necessarily what that means. We obviously saw Henry Cavill is gone. I'm very sad about that. I did like Henry Cavill. I did want I did want a Man of Steel sequel with him in the lead because he did do such a great job. But at the same time, I completely understand why James Gunn is recasting that. I understand why he wants to get away from the Snyderverse at this point. Let's just because if anything that's tied to the Snyderverse, you're always going to be looking back. We want to look forward with this. That's what James Gunn wants to do, and I really wholeheartedly support that. Let's look forward. Let's do everything we need to do. That being said, Shazam, obviously, there's a couple of films left, a couple this year, even 2023, that are going to be released that are definitely tied to the old DCEU. Shazam: Fear of the Gods being one of them. Well, I liked Shazam. I did not see Black Adam. Didn't care to. I probably will see it eventually when it's on streaming, but I know it's on streaming now, but I probably will get to it eventually. Shazam was fine. I was looking forward enough to the sequel because I saw it in theaters. I'd probably see it in theaters. I probably will see this one in theaters. I've heard two different sides of a story for this one, and I think both sides need to take a little bit of a chill pill to a degree. I think there's a place in the middle where there is. Some people have come out and said, "Well, why are we bothering to watch these? They're not connected to the DCU. They're leading nowhere, so why watch them?" And there's the other side that's saying, "Well, they're movies. They still are acted and directed by people who have taken great care to make a film. They're still enjoyable, whether they're connected or not." I think both sides are true. I think I'm leaning more towards they're still movies. They are still movies. I mean, all the movies, Batman and Superman were not connected in the WB in 1980s. Christopher Reeve, Michael Keaton was not connected. We still watched both. Didn't care if they were leading somewhere. We had a good time. Um, I think we can still have a good time with Shazam Fury of the Gods, whether or not Zachary Levi is going to come back and Shazam in the new DCEU or not, or it's going to be done. This is going to be it. It could be. So, but I also understand why people are disappointed, and it might color their outlook on the movies. It might color their anticipation. They might be not be anticipating it as enough because it isn't as connected, and I understand that too. For me, it is somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna see 'em anyway. It's not gonna bother me entirely, but there will be a nagging, that kinda sucks," especially if they're gonna have stuff that leads to was gonna lead somewhere else. Now, Shazam! Fear of the Gods, I think it might be more of a standalone movie than most of the DCEU anyway, so I kinda feel like we're gonna enjoy it. I'll give this one a solid 6. 6 out of, 11, 6 out maybe 6.5. Alright, let's just see, where's Kelly W there? Said, "Literally just the middle hour of Black Adam was enjoyable." Maybe. I do wanna see it because of Pierce Brosnan and Doctor Fate and JSA stuff. I kinda wanted to see that, so that's one reason I definitely will see that movie at some point, but I'm not rushing to it anytime soon. Alright, what's next up on our list after Shazam! Fear of the Gods? Champions with Woody Harrelson, a film by Bobby Farrelly. This is a fun one. This looks pretty fun. I know it's Woody Harrelson returning to being directed by Bobby Farrelly as I got a trailer of it. He's like a basketball pro, has to come back and help Special Olympics squad play basketball. It looks like it's a fun movie. It looks like it's treating the subject matter appropriately from what I can tell. It looks like it could be very heartwarming. It could be I love a good sports story, and if sports stories follow the formula enough, it can be very heartwarming. Woody Harrelson looks great in the role. This is kind of the role he's really good at these days. The gruff, cocky guy, but does have a heart of gold in there somewhere. So I do think that I'm looking forward to this. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. I might wait for it to be on streaming, but it's a solid 6 out of 11 for me. Oh, 6. I'm excited enough, I guess. All right, let's move on to the next film. Definitely one of my most anticipated. Definitely Maddie Gunner's most anticipated. John Wick, Chapter 4. John Wick, Chapter 4. I will say I want to watch the John Wick films again. John Wick, the first film, is one of my favorite films of the decade. John Wick Chapter 2 was great. I was one who thought John Wick Chapter 3 kind of went a bit over the top for me as far as world building. It went a little too far. My my one of my negatives, one of my bitches was that it kind of felt like if it made everybody connected to the underground world, and if everybody is connected to this special underground world, is it really a special underground world? I also wasn't a huge fan of it being basically a video game boss level kind of series at the end, almost like the raid like source material in a way. With that being said, with that being said, Holy shit, am I still excited about this one? I know I said all these negative things. I just don't care. You throw it out the window. I mean, I did see that. You got Donnie Yen, you got Soros, you got Sonata, you got, I mean, Keanu Reeves looks great. He's always fun, and I think as long as they stick to that formula, I'll still always have a good time. I can't wait to see what's going to come up with the Continental and that whole aspect of it. So sign me up. It's still, despite my misgivings for Chapter Three, it's still a solid 11 out of 11 for me. It's one of my most anticipated of the year, and I can't wait to get back into that universe. I can't wait to see what we got coming out from that universe even more. The ballerina spinoff, maybe a series. I don't know where that series stands. I know there's going to be a Continental series at some point. I don't know if that's still happening or if that's been shelved or not. But I love the universe. I hope it goes for a couple more films. While Keanu is still young enough to be kicking ass, although I mean the way he's going, he seems like he has another bunch of years left in him. All right, solid 11 out of 11. Let's move on then. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. This one is intriguing to me. As someone who definitely played D&D a bunch when he was a kid, um, I hated, and I mean hated, that first film. And I think everybody did. I don't think anybody liked that film. This one seems like it's taken a different tone, a different approach. It feels like it's a little, I don't know, parody is not quite the right word, but doesn't take it so seriously, and I think that's okay. And Dungeons and Dragons to me is always best when we just had a good time. You'd have friends over, you'd have a few, maybe if you're old enough, you had a few drinks or you had a few joints, and you played a good game. As long as you had a good story, you could have the silliness with it as well. I made for a fun time, and this it seems like it captures that tone really well. Although at the same time, it's still not something I'm like, I have to see this, you know? But the trailer did get me more excited about it. I do like the cast. Obviously, Chris Pine is great. Michelle Rodriguez is great. Hugh Grant being in as the Rogue, that should be fun. I would say solid 6 out of 11 for me. I think that's a good way to go at this point. Maybe a 5. I mean, again, I'm not too super excited about it, but a 5 sounds right. All right, next up we have the Super Mario Brothers films. I gotta tell you, I'm all in on Super Mario Brothers for one reason specifically. My son is all in on the Super Mario Brothers movie. Super Mario was big in my house growing up, and with my kids, we used to play, of course, Mario Kart. And we saw the trailer. We got Mario Kart in this film. That makes me happy. The music sounds phenomenal. The world looks great. The animation looks great. As far as Chris Pratt goes, that's the elephant in the room, I guess. Everybody hates Chris Pratt's voice. Yada yada yada. Eh, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, could it be better? Absolutely. Is it gonna ruin the movie for me? Absolutely not. If the movie's like anything like the trailer, I'm gonna have a grand old time. And I do think some of the other voices are gonna be just as great. I think Jack Black as Bowser is gonna be phenomenal. Charlie Day sounds great as Luigi. We haven't heard him yet, but I can imagine Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is gonna be a lot of fun. I think this could be a lot of fun overall. I, I don't see what some of the problems are with with Chris Pratt there, but you know what the hell? I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the trailer rather. I'm all in on this. I give this a solid 9 out of 11. 9 out of 11 for me for a Super Mario Brothers movie. All right, moving on. Next, of course, we have. I don't have a poster for this. I just got a picture. That says it all right there. That says it all, right? Nick Cage in Renfield. That is a solid 11 out of 11. Not gonna lie. I am going to have a lot to drink and watch that movie and have a shit ton of fun watching Nick Cage eat scenery left and right. This is gonna be a hysterical, like over the top trip of a movie, and I can't wait. Nick Cage is the man, the myth, the legend. If you're not excited about this movie, then I think you have no pulse, and I think you have no taste at all. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. All right, after that, what we got? We have Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise coming out as the latest in the Evil Dead series. I haven't heard actually much about this, surprisingly, considering who my fellow mediocre white dude is. Uh, but let's see. I look at that. I was looking at it earlier. It seems like it is they scrapped plans for the sequel for the 2013 film. They scrapped plans for a possible Army of Darkness sequel, which would have been really good. Because they was going to lead to a crossover of some kind. But it seems like it was made for HBO Max, and yet it was so well received that they're deciding to give it a theatrical release. Now that tells me that there's something special here. Maybe there's something special here. I'm hoping it is. I mean, Sam Raimi was involved, I believe. Was he not? I don't know. I don't know, but if Raimi was involved. Okay. He was. Yes, he is. Yes, he's involved. He's definitely producing it, and it should be good. So that it sounds fun to me. I'm gonna say I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10, 7 out of 11 for this one, 7 or 8 out of 11. Even though it was not my favorite franchise in the world, considering of horror wise, but I'll keep up with it. I should go back someday and watch the whole TV series they did. I never really watched the TV series, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I'll go with Evil Dead Rise. I think that should be a fun one to go to. All right, what's up next after Evil Dead? There you go. Got another Marvel film for us. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the swan song for the Guardians, the swan song for James Gunn in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think this is going to be highly emotional. I did watch the trailer, I had a trailer reaction on this very channel. I loved it. I loved what I saw. I think that this is gonna be funny, it's gonna be emotional, it's gonna be the best of both worlds. I was not a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think it did better on rewatch, though, I will say that. It does it definitely threads that line between going very far the humor side, but then being able to bring it back with an emotional beat as well. Obviously, we have some potential deaths here. That's what's hinted. I don't know who necessarily. I had some rumors thrown at me. I have my own predictions, kind of thing. Um, yeah, this is not a spoiler, so a prediction I have. I think we're going to see Rocket bite it. I think that's my guess. I think that's what the trailer kind of supports it as well. But maybe that's going to be a red herring. Maybe that's what that's. It won't be Rocket at all. Maybe Rocket will be the only one who survives. I don't know, but either way, I am all in on this one. This is a Marvel film that I'm probably most anticipating so far, at least what has been announced, because it seems like it's a solid win. It's James Gunn doing the Guardians, which I love, so I can't go wrong there. So I think even at worst, I'll have a great time with it. I'll give that one a solid 9 out of 11. 9 out of 11 for that. All right, next up we have Fast X, Fast 10. Well, this is an interesting one for me. I'm hoping John Lestrini is not in the chat. Oh, there he is right there. It's live just in time for Fast X. Well, John, I got to say, I'm going to be truthful here about the Fast X and my anticipation towards Fast X. I am both highly anticipating it and I am scared for it as well. I'm hoping it knocks it out of the park. That was perfect timing, John. I couldn't you could not have timed that perfect. It's like you knew what was going on. Um, I was someone who it took a while for me to get into the Fast franchise. Obviously, John was actually a big part of that. His love of the franchise made me go back and rewatch these with a less critical eye, perhaps. I used to initially dismiss the first one as being a Point Break ripoff. But at the end of the day, I've come to really enjoy the Fast franchise for all of its splendor and everything. Um, I think that there's a couple things that make me a little bit hesitant on this film. Obviously, the disintegration, should we say, of The Rock and Vin Diesel's relationship puts a little bit of a damper on it for me. I love The Rock in the Fast franchise. I love The Rock and Vin Diesel together. So having The Rock not be there to end the saga, so to speak, makes me a little less excited. I'm not going to lie. Um, Point Break is a Fast and the Furious ripoff. I'm not sure how that works, John, but you know what? I'll let it go. Uh, I do also have a little bit of a hesitation because of the whole thing that happened with Justin Lin. Justin Lin and Vin Diesel obviously had some issues, and I love Justin Lin as a director. Having Vin really kind of assert himself as kind of the king of the Fast franchise does let me get a little worried. I get a little worried about that. I think that Vin Diesel might be letting his ego go a little bit amok with it. I do But at the same time, I do think there is a lot in the tank still. We have a great cast. Obviously, Jason Statham is back. That's great. John Cena is back, and that makes me happy. Jason Momoa as a villain, I think that Jason Momoa definitely fits this franchise to a T. I think he'll have a lot of fun here. So that will help. I do like a lot of the other cast is coming back. Obviously, Sun Kang's back. Jordana Brewster is back. Michael Rooker, Scott Eastwood, Helen Mirren, Charlize Theron, and her awful haircut. Uh, so it's really this is the film for me that is both highly anticipated and highly wary of. I'm hoping that by the time they get it all together, it is a fitting set off to one of the greatest action franchises that we have had in a long time. Um, that's come from an amazing some amazing length from where it initially began. And if you told me that the Fast and Furious is going to be a franchise after watching that first film, I would be like, no way. But it has succeeded on every level. That's part of a lot of it has to do with Vin Diesel. So maybe he will, uh, hit that home run and send us home happy. So I guess I have to say my interest in it does pique my anticipation. My anticipation is I'd say about a 9 and of 11 out of this because I really want to see what's going to go down. Is it going to be a great film or is it going to be an actual car crash and we have to look away? Um, Either way, it'll be a fun time. At the very least, it'll be a popcorn film. I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping for a great ending, but we're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. That's right. No other movies coming out. We're done with the episode. It's all done. That's the only one. All right, let's move past now, going past Fast X. The next one to come out, The Little Mermaid. Okay, The Little Mermaid, latest in the Disney live action shows. I've heard actually good things about it. I've heard it actually has gotten some good reviews as far as some test screenings have gone. I don't know if those are accurate or not. I do think it's an interesting cast. Um, I've not been a huge fan of the Disney live action film so far, um, but I could see Melissa McCarthy really killing it as Ursula. I do love Javier Bardem being King Triton. I think that's a lot of fun, possibly. So anticipation wise, though, I gotta say this is probably at a 4 for me. I can't really 4 out of 11 because I don't care if this comes out or not. It might be great. I enjoyed The Little Mermaid Disney when I was younger, so maybe this will do something good, huh? Hmm. All right, let's moving on. Is Brie Larson and O'Connor? If we're going back to Fast X, you're trying to drag me back into Fast X. I get that. That's could be. I'd love to see that. To be honest, with you. I would actually love that quite a bit, and it makes sense. We got to bring the O'Connors back in somehow, right? All right, what do we got next here? Hmm. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. All right, interestingly enough, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I loved, but not as loved. A lot of people hype this movie up to be the bee's knees, so to speak. A lot of people love the first Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, and I get it. I don't blame them. But it wasn't one for me that I would go back and say, "Oh, I love this film so much." So the sequel to it is something I'm anticipating. Probably not as highly as other people. I did like the trailer. Got the trailer action on the page on the channel here, as you can see. If you go check that out, it does look good. It looks like they're taking the best things about the first one, amplifying it a lot. We're getting a little more into the multiverse angle. Obviously, a whole lot of Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2099 was there. A bunch of Spider-Man were there. So at the end of the day, I know my son is actually really looking forward to this one as well. So I think I will definitely enjoy it. I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 11. Maybe an 8 out of 11 for me. All right, what's next? Did this one for Party J. Elemental. Well, it's Pixar. It's Pixar. Um, I do anticipate Pixar all the time. I think Pixar makes great quality films. I don't rush to see them. I'll give it a solid 6 out of 11. 6 out of 11. Nothing else to be said, to be honest. All right, let's move on to The Flash. The Flash. Okay. This is, uh, uh, if I'm just talking about anticipation, this is kind of the same line of Fast X for me. because it's like watching a potential car crash. Um, am I anticipated for the film itself? Not as much as I'm anticipated for what's happening and how they handle things. From what I've heard, The Flash has had several test screenings. They've all been loved. From what I've heard, obviously, they had many cameos cast, and a lot of them have been taken out. The Henry Cavill one specifically has been taken out for obvious reasons. We know at some point this was supposed to lead into possibly be a Flashpoint movie that leads us into the future of the DCEU. I do think that they're still going to do that. However, I think they're trying to change it to be a different version of the new version of the DCEU. With the film already done, that's going to take a lot of work. So I worry that this is going to be a lot of Frankensteining going on. I have worries that they're going to try to piece together stuff that's not there, and they're going to try to hopefully match up tones, throwing shit up against the wall and seeing what sticks. So this is the potential to be a disaster, which is unfortunate because it sounded like it was going to be great. Um, well, and the Ezra of it all, of course, is another thing. Obviously, Ezra is definitely gone. There's no way Ezra comes back, or they're rebooting anyway because of everything he's got going on in his life and their life. Sorry, everything going on in their life. They're definitely not going to be cast as Flash anymore. I mean, I think that's an obvious thing. Unfortunately, the Michael Keaton of it all is really heartbreaking. Michael Keaton's going to come back. He's going to be in Batgirl. Batgirl's shelved. He's going to be in the Flash. Is he going to be back out after this? I don't know. I mean, I heard that there's a Batman Beyond potentially in production, possibly, or in pre-production, and that was going to be starring Michael Keaton as the older Batman, and that would have been a phenomenal live action film to do. But who knows now? So the end of the day, I'm anticipating it a lot. There's actually probably, I'll say 10 out of 11 for me because I'm anticipating it. I've heard great things. I do like the Flash character. I like the Flashpoint storyline. I like the potential of where it can go. But my anticipation is also partially because I could be watching a car crash. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, what else we got here? There we go. That's like a good gander at that one. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Excuse me. I am very much anticipating this. This is probably 11 out of 11. I'll tell you right now. That's I'm a big indie fan. I've always been a big indie fan. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love the Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, my two favorites. I do love Temple of Doom. I do admit it's got some cheesiness to it, but I love it. Temple of Doom. I'm even someone who overall loves Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yes, it has its faults, but I think that people are well overhating it for reasons that I can't completely understand. It is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's a pulpy adventure film. Is there some cheesiness to it? Absolutely. Is there some stupid parts to it? Absolutely. But it's still Harrison Ford doing Indiana Jones, and I can't look away from that and I can't look at that and not be entertained. I love the character that much. This trailer was phenomenal. I was all in. It's John Williams' last score. So there's that as well. I think that's something to be amazed at. I mean, the legend. I mean, you have a chance. You are living your life in a time when John Williams was scoring movies, and you're about to see his last scored movie. And that's something to be amazed at and to show respect to, because he is a maestro, the maestro of maestros. There will never be another John Williams. There'll be never even anyone that touches John Williams' head. So this is definitely, if I had to say anything, I'd probably put this as my most anticipated film of next year at this point. Um, perfect storm for me. Perfect storm for me. All right, what else we got going on here? Next up, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part One. I said that Indiana Jones is my most anticipated film. This might be the other one. This might be the other one. I obviously is a big action guy. Love Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible might be the most consistently good franchise in the history of franchises. I mean, the only one I can think of that's as consistently good so far has probably been the Rocky franchise. But even that's kind of, I think, there's a little less there when it comes to quality. Mission Impossible has one somewhat poor movie, not even poor. Mission Impossible 2 is definitely kind of cheesy, over the top, and not great. But the films have been getting better. They've been getting better as we go along. And you watch Tom Cruise's Twitter, you're just like, holy shit, dude, you are 60 years old. Go home before you kill yourself. But man, that looks good. Doesn't it look good? It just looks so good. I can't wait for that film to come out. I'm up over the moon with that one. That's gonna be definitely. I'm gonna see that multiple times. I can't wait for that one specifically. Sean Wingblade, Airbud would have a word with say, hey, You know what? That's true. It's definitely consistent quality. Air Bud is definitely consistent in its quality. That's how I'll leave that. All right, what do we got next coming up after that? Obviously, after the 11 out of 11, there's this film, Barbie. I don't know. I'm gonna get maybe killed for this one. This is like a 2 out of 11 for me. I don't get it. People like want to see this film. People are so excited about this film. I get it's Greta Gerwig and written by Noah Baumbach or Noah Baumbach. I get it's Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and they're all phenomenal people. I just saw the trailer and I guess it's gonna be fun, but people like are going out of their minds out of this movie, and I'm kind of like, eh, okay. So I don't know. I don't know about that. If you love it, hey, more power to you. If you're anticipating it, more power to you. It's just not something I am that excited about. I'm not gonna lie. All right, moving on. Oppenheimer. Just the trailer reaction for that today. What a great film this looks like it's going to be. I don't even care about anything else except for the fact that holy crap, does Killian Murphy look like he is on fire in this role? This screams Oscar bait for him. For me, this seems like an Oscar performance. Again, it's a 2 minute trailer. I'm basing that on a 2 minute trailer. But if the rest of the film is as good as this his performance in this 2 minute trailer, he's definitely going to be knocking on the doors for some awards. It's got a great cast. I'm hoping that it's Christopher Nolan is back to being absolutely loved after this film. I'm a fan of Tenet. Don't get me wrong. I started a little bit of a Twitter thing where PJ is questioning me about Tenet. I like Tenet a lot. I'm saying that Tenet was definitely a more polarizing film than a lot of his earlier work. I am definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to say this is another, I'll say 10 out of 11. 10 out of 11. Exactly my point, Sean. Oppenheimer versus Barbie, same weekend. I'll give you one guess which one I'm seeing first. I'm seeing Oppenheimer. I think you are too. I think you are too, but I shouldn't guess. I shouldn't assume. Uh, but definitely for me, I'm seeing Oppenheimer. All right, let's move on to the next film. The Marvels. The Marvels. Okay. This is one of those films that I'm somewhat excited for. You're seeing Barbie, of course you are. Of course you are. Okay. Uh, The Marvels, I'm just not super excited for. I did not love Captain Marvel. I did love Ms. Marvel, the series. I thought it was well done. It had a little bit, it's kind of faltered a little bit as far as the action goes. The family dynamic was great. Um, I'm interested to see where it goes, but this is not my, as far as I'm definitely well more excited about the other two Marvel movies this year. This one I'm going to give a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6 or 6 out of 11, rather. Maybe even a 5 out of 11. I'll go. Because it's connected to the MCU, I'll go because I'm a loyal MCU fan at this point, and they usually deliver at least an entertaining movie, but this is not one I'm super excited about. All right, let's move on to the next film. Take a sip of drink here first. Okay, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Okay, that's a good one. Interestingly enough, I feel like they've never since 1990, they have never really gotten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right. The original film was great. It was a good combination of the serious comics and the kid-friendly cartoon. I thought they had a great mix. Since then, they've been kind of struggling a lot. It seems like this would make a shitload of sense to do animated or CGI computer animated. But even then, we haven't gotten great results. And then the Michael Bay ones, fine, I guess. This feels exciting. This feels exciting um, to me because I like these characters a lot. I've heard that Seth Rogen being involved has really impressed Eastman and Laird. They actually want this to be a continuing series of movies. They are setting it and making the focus be on them being teenagers, which is a big part of the original comics and everything else. This has the potential to finally be the TMNT I've always wanted. I still, because I've been bit so many times, though, I'm still a little hesitant about it. So I'm gonna give this a solid 7.5 out of 11. I want it to be more. I guess I'm just hesitant about what's happened in the previous times. So prove me wrong, do it up. Sean, going back to the Marvels, I'm most excited about seeing Teyonah Paris and Iman Vellani, which is sad to say about Bree's own sequel that I'm not excited about seeing her in it. Yeah, I get you on that. I totally get you on that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Meg 2, The Trench. I have a poster for you on that one, unfortunately. But I loved the Meg film. I thought it was a perfect Jason Statham action vehicle. It's ridiculous. He's punching sharks. We're seeing huge jaws, like huge ass sharks there. I mean, what's not to love? Huge ass sharks in the water. Jason Statham being an action hero. What is not to love? I think that the first film, if it does exactly what the first film did, maybe a little bit more, I can't wait for it. It's going to be, I'm definitely anticipating that one for sure. For me, that's a solid 10 out of 11. Fun popcorn movie. Not going to be a great movie. Going to be a fun one, though. JTE in the chat here. How you doing, buddy? 2023 is a year of Captain Ron. How big of a fan are you of Captain Ron? I love Captain Ron. I love Captain Ron back in the day. I mean, I can't wait for Captain Ron to come back. I mean, come on now. Who doesn't like Captain Ron? All right, what else we got in the next movie on the list here? After the Meg, got a movie called Gran Turismo, obviously based on the series. No poster yet for that as well. Interesting cast: David Harbour and Orlando Bloom. Am I excited about it? Not really. I'm not too excited about it. Another video game movie. Video game movies have not done traditionally well for me, for anybody really. I think they're starting to maybe get it better potentially, but is this going to be one that kind of flips the script on that? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I do like David Harbour. He's always entertaining, so I am excited about seeing that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Oh, wait, is there a Captain? Are we getting a reboot or requel? What is happening with Captain Ron? That's a good question. I actually haven't heard anything. Is there anything coming up, Captain Ron? Let me see. Captain Ron. Captain Ron is definitely a prequel to Escape from New York, right? No, anything? I don't see anything about Captain Ron in here. If there is something, JT, let me know. I do love myself some Captain Ron. All right, moving on. We got Haunted Mansion with Rosario Dawson and Owen Wilson. Again, that's not something I'm terribly excited about. It could be good, could be not. I could see it on Disney Plus and watch it late night one night and maybe get a laugh or two, a chuckle or two. But anticipation wise, maybe a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Nothing more than that. How about the Blue Beetle? Blue Beetle coming out next year uh, Cobra Kai's very own Zolo Maraduena. Susan Sarandon's also in it, I believe. I was looking forward to this a lot. I think this is a DCU film that could actually survive the DCEU purge, so to speak. It seems like it's not very connected. It does have a good cast, great representation. I was excited about it, low key excited about it before. I do like Zolo in the role. So I think this is a movie that could be actually pretty exciting overall. Uh, Now, is it going to make it? I kind of wonder. Maybe somebody else in the chat knows this and I don't. I kind of worry that this might go the way of Batgirl as far as maybe saving money goes. If it's not going to have a connection with the DCEU, I'm hoping not because I do think this is definitely one I'd like to see. But we'll find out, I guess, as far as that goes. Nothing new happening. Just trying to make Captain Ron more relevant in today's society. That's true. Okay, that's fair, JT. Maybe if we speak it out to the world, we can get a Captain Ron a sequel, maybe a series, be a legacy sequel. I don't know, but I do love me some Captain Ron. That's a great film. I'm actually having to watch that in forever. I might actually have to turn that on tonight. Thank you, JT, if you're stopping in and re-inspiring me to go back to the greatest that is Captain Ron. You got at least two of us. There you go. What's coming up after that? We're getting to the later parts of the year now. We're almost done and we're into September. September has a big one for me. I don't know how excited anybody else is for this, but The Equalizer 3 is coming out. Denzel Washington's first threequel, so to speak. I love the first Equalizer. I love the second Equalizer even more than the first one. I know that might be a hot take. I think they're getting better as they go on. I think Denzel just knows this role so well. It's definitely entertaining. We got Dakota Fanning. I can't wait to see what this is. I think it's got a little bit of anticipation, which makes me happy. Like it's not overly anticipated. It can just be what it wants to be. It can fit into that September schedule. I think this is the kind of movie series that'll make just enough money that they can keep going for as long as Denzel wants to do it. If Denzel wants to keep doing it, we could have six, seven, eight equalizers, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Each one is its own little fun little film. And it's the kind of mid-level action thriller that we need, kind of like Ambulance was this year. I loved Ambulance by Michael Bay. I have a feeling that that is exactly the kind of thing we need more of. I'm sad that that wasn't successful because we don't need everything to be a big budget blowout. Nice mid-level budget action film. Let's just do it. Equalizer could be the way to go. Seeing fans of something in the chat. Look at that, fans of something. Good to see you. Stinks Joker 2 is it next year? Also, hey, PLD. Hey, hey. Yes, the Joker's not coming out yet. That's true. That's going to be an interesting show. That's going to be a very interesting film. I'm actually highly anticipating what that's going to be, whether it's going to be a brilliant piece of work or a piece of crap. We're going to find that one out, though. And JT, your mission is indeed complete. All right, what else we got here? We're getting close towards the end. We got also another sequel coming out in September. Started having no posters left to show you. The Nun 2. Now, you guys know me. You know I'm a big horror fan. I love me some horror. Hell, PJ and my To Be or Wait to Use on Film is almost exclusively about horror franchises. I like the Conjuring franchise. One of my favorite horror franchises. It's been pretty consistently good overall, at least been watchable if nothing else. The Nun, I think, is very underrated. I actually highly enjoyed the Nun film. If you want to listen to my podcast on that with PJ, it's on To Be Dick or Wait Dudes on Film right now, anywhere you find podcasts, under the PLD Projects Network. That's what you look for, PLD Projects Network, take you to that. But The Nun 2, I was looking forward to. I'm just not excited about the director. That's my only problem with the film and actually with the franchise. The Conjuring franchise has been giving Michael Chavis a lot of possibility, a lot of chances, and he's done The Curse of La Llorona, one of my least favorite of the none of the Conjuring franchise. He did The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which was definitely the worst of the three. It wasn't bad. I think he definitely made some strides between the two, but also The Conjuring, Devil Made Me Do It had the bonus help of having the lead characters who carry that very well. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson really carry the load there. Nun 2 got Taissa Farmiga in it. It could be good. I'm definitely anticipating it because that's a horror movie in the Conjuring franchise. I'll definitely be there opening day. I'm going to give that a solid 8 out of 11 just because. All right, let's move on. A few left. You got Expendables 4 coming in September as well. Another great action sequel, action sequence as well, series, I should say. It'll be interesting seeing Sylvester Stallone kind of pass the baton to Jason Statham. These films are what they are. They're big budget or they're big blockbuster action films with as many action stars as you can throw at them. I'm excited. Can't go wrong. Anything, not much to say about that. Do we care about the story? No, we care about big action set pieces and how cool Jason Statham's going to be leading that role and seeing if he can take on the role that Sylvester Stallone started. All right, what else we got? We got all right, Craven the Hunter. Is that still coming out? I'm not even sure. I thought I heard that it wasn't coming out potentially. It was still kind of in development. I'm not sure what it's on my list here, but I thought something went down that it wasn't going to happen. Am I wrong on that? I don't know. We're gonna find out. It looks like it's still on, so I guess we'll go there. It's got Aaron Taylor Johnson, which could be good, and Russell Crowe's in it. That's good. Uh, I'm not as excited. I'm not as excited about Craven the Hunter. The Sony Spider-Verse has never done anything quite right yet, so I can't see why this is gonna be anything different. So my anticipation for that at this point, 4 out of 11 for right now. 4 out of 11. I can't really booster much else for that. Maybe after we get a trailer, it might go up. But right now, I don't care if it comes out at all. Expendables 4. 3 was not good. Surprised about this one. Actually, I would actually disagree with you a little bit there, Eddie Johnson. Eddie, I think that the Expendables 3, I actually enjoyed because of Harrison Ford. I get why people didn't like it. I'm not going to lie. But overall, I thought it was fun enough to continue the series. I actually like Expendables 3 better than Expendables 2, honestly, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion. All right, we got, of course, Saw 10 coming out in October for Halloween. I gotta watch the Saw franchise. This is my time. This is my time to shine. I haven't watched every episode in the franchise. I've not seen Spiral. I know I missed one or two of these Saws going up. So for Saw 10, I will make sure I go through the entire list and get to it. Um, Anticipation wise, 6 out of 11. I've never been a huge Saw fan. Maybe the rewatching will boost that up for me. All right, couple guns left. We got my most anticipated movie of the year, maybe. I know I already said that about Indiana Jones, and I said that already about a couple other movies, but Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2. There we go, Dune Part 2. That might be my most anticipated now because Denis Villeneuve is by far my favorite current living director. Steven Spielberg had that for a long time. He's kind of gone a little bit. I still love Steven Spielberg. Don't get me wrong, but I love more of the Steven Spielberg blockbuster type than the more historical Steven Spielberg we've gotten. Denis Villeneuve has not missed for me yet. I have loved every single one of his films, and Blade Runner 2049 is my favorite film of the 2010s. Dune Part 1 uh, hit it out of the ballpark for me. So Part 2, I can't wait to see what he does with this. I really can't. And fans of something, yeah, that I'll agree with. Go from hard R to soft PG-13 was a bad decision. Although, that happened to Die Hard 4 as well, and I kinda grew to like Die Hard 4 quite a bit. Some people I know actually like Die Hard 4 better than Die Hard 2 and 3. As far as what did I feel about The Fabelman shot, I have not seen it yet, because it's not been around my theater. I know it did just come out on VOD, so I'm gonna watch that very soon. I'm actually very excited about seeing it. I just haven't quite had the time or opportunity yet. I can't wait to watch it. It looks brilliant. Anything else we got coming up? Do a few other things. Wonka from Timothy Chalamet and Olivia Colman. Olivia Colman's great. Timothy Chalamet's fine. Do we need a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory musical? December 20th, we got the Untitled Ghostbusters sequel. I'm excited about that. I loved what they did with the Afterlife. Some people didn't, some people did. I'm interested to see how we're going to move on as far as the legacy characters. I know it seems like Ernie Hudson might get involved more this time, possibly, which I kind of like. I kind of think he's a nice connection tied back to the past without having to have the weight of the Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd characters come back in at all. I loved Afterlife for what it did. It feels like going to New York, though, is going to make some of the misgivings about Afterlife go away, having it be in the city. Because New York is really a character in the Ghostbusters franchise. So the one maybe misstep of Afterlife was taking it out of New York. So I can't wait for them to go back into New York, back into some familiar settings. I'm excited about that. That's going to be a very fun movie. I'm looking forward to that. 10 out of 11, maybe 10.5 out of 11, out of 11 for me. Um, Looks like the final, as far as listed dates go, would be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. You heard what I said about Shazam. Same thing happens to Aquaman. I'm happy to see it. Is it gonna? It's weird that it's gonna be completely not important anymore, but I'll watch it for what it is. I do enjoy Jason Momoa in the role. Abdul Mateen is phenomenal in everything he does, so I'm happy to see that as well. Now, a couple of movies that are coming out that are TBD at this point from 2023. Quiet Place Part 3. Don't know much about it yet, but I'm excited about that. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. I think it's a perfect film for Netflix. I do think the franchise kind of ran its course after 3 was not well received. Although I think it's overhated a little bit. It's still okay. Not nowhere near the first and the second film. Eddie Murphy and Judge Reinhold now. I'm fine with seeing that. I'm happy to see that. I'll give that a solid 8 out of 11 for that. Black Canary is on this list. I don't know if that's still happening or not. Some of these I'm not sure happening or not, but Extraction 2, it's fine. Extraction 2, I liked Extraction 1. First one was fine. Not something I'm extremely excited about. Don't know much about it, but it's definitely be a nice day waster on the couch, so to speak. Killers of the Flower Moon. How can you go wrong with Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jesse Plemons? Right there, that's a pure 10 out of 11 just by those names alone. So Martin Scorsese, until he really misses, he has not missed for me, then I'm going to be excited about every one of his movies coming out. All right, anything else? That seems to be the gist of it. I will say to stay on brand, we might have a 2023 film with Ed Harris. Say I'm Brandon. Film called Downtown Owls in production. It's finishing up. Hopefully that'll be done soon. I'm not sure it's going to be released or not in 2023, but it's got a great cast. It's a drama that's based on a novel by Chuck Klosterman. It's directed by Lily Rabe and Hamish Linklater, of course, from American Horror Story and from the Mike Flanagan TV series Midnight Mass. I can't wait to see them directing together. That should be interesting. Got a cast of Lily Rabe going to be in it herself: Ed Harris, Jack Dylan Grazer, Henry Golding, Vanessa Hudgens, and Finn Whitrock. So that's an exciting one for me. I know it's probably not, maybe not for anybody else, but it's got Ed Harris, so I'm all on board. You know that, of course. But that really is it. The last thing I will touch base before I leave and say goodnight to you guys, we do have some Star Wars stuff coming out, not movies, but I'm looking forward to a lot of different things with the Star Wars universe. As far as on screen goes, we do have, of course, Mandalorian season 3 coming back on March. I am excited about Mandalorian coming back because I loved Andor, but I'm happy to go back to the tone of Mandalorian, um, because that was the one thing that me and Andor lacked. It didn't have that kind of fun adventure Star Wars feel for that way. It's Star Wars at its core. I'm not arguing that Andor is not Star Wars. At its core, it has all the same values, all the same everything you need. I just want to get a little back to the fun side of things. I want to go back to Andor. I can't wait for Andor season 2, but it's gonna be fun to go back to Mandalorian season 3. Same thing with Ahsoka. Very interested to see Ahsoka come in, and it's going to be attached to the Mando universe somehow. It's also, from everything we've been told, is going to be a sequel to Clone Wars and Rebels and that whole Ahsoka storyline. So I'm interested to see how they interconnect as we interconnect the Dave Filoni cinematic universe within Star Wars. Excited about that, quite frankly. I think it's going to come out probably in the summertime, probably July. And then there's Skeleton Crew coming out probably December-ish, maybe. Skeleton Crew, again, it's part of the Mando universe. I think it's going to be fun. Jude Law's in it. It should be, I've heard it's obviously Amblin in Star Wars, Goonies in Star Wars potential. That makes me happy. I think that'd be great. Stranger Things in Star Wars is what I've heard as well. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully it connects well. And finally, the animated Bad Batch season 2 does come out next year as well. I'm excited about that. I know some people don't like it that much or weren't excited about it. Rather, I did a trailer reaction for that. I can't wait for it because every time it's a season 2 of a Dave Filoni film, it seems like season or Dave Filoni series, first season tends to introduce this niche part of the universe, these niche characters, and then season 2 is where it explores out and we get to see more connectivity issue between the rest of the Star Wars universe. So I feel it's going to explode out, and we're going to get more connections. If you're a fan of Clone Wars and probably Rebels, you'll probably be greatly rewarded there. So, of course, we also got Vision season 2 coming out. That should be fun as well. I guess that's it. That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for popping in and hanging out with me. Glad to see all you guys in the chat there. Eddie, of course, JTE, Wingblade, John Strana, Kelly W., Will McLean was there. Great to have you in the chat as well. Of course, Galactus, William Harold. That's it for now, guys. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll do this again sometime. This was a lot of fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Until next time, salute you guys. Take care.